Hello, good people. Welcome. Bad people. Welcome. Medium people. Welcome. Anyone who want to learn more about B2B marketing, welcome. Because today we are going to discuss about the power of mindful in B2B marketing with Nirosha Methananda. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Anatoly. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to learn more about B2B, about marketing. I love this topic, and I found that I'm student on this life. I can learn every single day, and it's impossible to learn everything in digital marketing because it's huge, many different directions, sections. So I'm so excited to learn more. And before we start, just tell more about yourself, about business, about your background, about anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you. And one more time, tell how to pronounce your name, for my audience.
Sure. So I'm Nirosha Methananda. Thank you very much. I know. My heritage is Sri Lankan. So Sri
Ah,
Lankans are famous for, I think, tea and very long surnames. So
okay, okay.
yeah.
Got it.
Um, but yeah, I've been a B2B marketer for, going on 15 years now. I sort of started from the bottom up and was office admin, reception, and then worked my way through various different roles, from coordinator to manager to director and VP. For probably about the last 10 years, I've been focused in B2B marketing in tech. So I was I live in the US, and I've been with mostly marketing technology and ad technology companies. So most recently, I was the VP of marketing for a company called Influ2, which was actually founded in the Ukraine as well. And then prior to that, I was the VP of marketing at a company called Bombora. So Bombora is known for being a leader in B2B intent data. So yeah, and then prior to that, I was with PwC, and I was heading up their uh, heading up their marketing across their tech and consulting business. So, that's sort of my background. I've been purposely a marketing generalist, and yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. And I'm not sure whether I know I can see myself, but I think maybe Anatoly has is not there. But I'll give you a moment to to rejoin. Let's see. It's funny, we can put a man in the moon, but streaming and video escapes us. Let me see. This is not my rodeo, so if you're there with us live, please bear with me. I am going to reach out to Anatoly. Um, So Anatoly has lost his internet connection, unfortunately. So I'll just give him a minute to come back, and then we can continue. So I'll stop my camera for the minute and mic, but I'll return back to the live stream when he gets his connection. So I thank you for your understanding.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
Okay, guys. Sorry, I lost my connection for a while. Right now, I'm back. We can figure. Nirosha is here. Nirosha happens time to time. So yeah, I lost my connection, but right now I'm back. Okay, let's continue with that. I want to introduction. Just tell more about yourself, experience, background, anything. Yeah, let's start from the
Oh,
beginning.
okay. Yeah, sure. So, as I mentioned, I've been in marketing for at least 15 years or so. Most recently, in the past 10 years, in a martech in ad tech, and in professional services. So I've purposely kept myself to be a generalist because I have a very curious mind, and I sort of like going across the span of marketing and learning new things. I think that's part of what drew me to marketing, in that there are so, as you said, there's so many different things to learn, and I love to learn about them, and I don't want to necessarily box myself into one thing or another. So sometimes that has its pluses and minuses, but for the most part, I'm grateful to it because it gives me the life that I've had and the experience that I've had, and I've been able to meet a diverse range of people as well through that. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Okay, Nirosha, let's start from the basic. I'm interested about creating the right strategy. What I found that many companies usually create generic strategies,
Right.
replicating competitors when they see that competitors get results, for example, with SEO, with specific keywords. They do the same, or on social media. Can you tell how to create the right strategy, considering strong sites, unique selling proposition, customers' preferences? Any tips about finding the right way where to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, you've hit the nail on the head of what I want to talk about, which is being like mindful marketing and having mindfulness. For me, whether you're every company is unique. It's whether you're selling, I don't know, let's take an arbitrary thing like a handbag, right? You don't have Chanel and Louis Vuitton. They both sell handbags, but they're both very different brands. They're both very different companies. And I think there's, if you take that from B2C perspective, from B2B perspective, regardless of whether you're selling, I don't know, a CRM, for example, it's not going to be the same product. It's not going to be the same brand. It's not going to be take a cookie cutter approach. And essentially, like, I think recognizing that difference and understanding, hey, Mike, being aware of what your competitors are doing, but not replicating it, because you're not going to be at the same stage from a business perspective as what your competitor is. Like if you look at, I don't know, from a marketing automation platform, if you have, like, you've got Salesforce, you've got HubSpot. When HubSpot started out, they didn't necessarily look at Salesforce and think, oh, we're immediately going to do exactly what they did. They developed their own strategy around inbound, around engaging their audience, around really understanding, and then going out to market from that perspective. And I think that's where really clear strategy starts, not only for marketing, but for a business holistically, from doing that and understanding, even from a product perspective, like understanding, okay, who are my customers? Who am I going after? Having a really solid strategy so that you can develop and your business can develop accordingly.
Nice. Yeah, valuable. You mentioned a few times about this word mindful. Can you explain what it means and the main difference between mindful and traditional marketing strategies?
Yeah. So, I don't think that in terms of actually between mindfulness and being traditional, there isn't a difference in terms of the strategies. There's a difference in terms of the application of them. So, when you're mindful about something, it's being aware, it's being conscious, it's being purposeful about what you're doing. And it's really being considerate of a number of different factors. So, what I was talking about, like the maturity of an organization, what resources you have, what budget you have, what your capacity is, understanding what your, most importantly, what your customers need and being empathetic to them, and having that sort of viewpoint around taking all those factors and building something that is purpose built for that situation, rather than being like, okay, cool, I'm going to come into this organization and I need to do, I've got this playbook, and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because I've done it in my previous life and it's worked and I'm going to do it again. Like, yes, some of those things may work, but then in the previous life, you may have had a 20-person marketing team. And in this, you only have, a 5-person marketing team. So, and the business is, 10 million or 2 million or whatever it is, the differences are. So, I think it's mindfulness is about really just understanding all of the information and pulling that into your strategy. And it's more of a mindset and a perspective than it is of, hey, you're going to do mindful marketing and now you're only going to do this, this, and this. No, mindful marketing is like, you have everything open to you and you should be able to have the intelligence to be able to say, okay, this business needs this, it needs a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a sprinkle of this, and that's what it can manage and that's what's going to give us results. So does that help explain what mindful marketing?
Yeah, I think so. It's a broad question, it's hard to reply to this
Yeah.
question, with one answer. But yeah, I got it. Okay, let's talk about finding the right channel. What I usually see when companies choose channels, because competitors have these channels. For example, if I wanna grow on YouTube, and how I can compete, I don't know, with Mr. Beast, many other great experts, because they love the process, they know how it works. And I think it's better to consider your strong side. I mean, like, for example, if you like writing, it's better to write. Why you need to film? If you
Right.
love recording audio podcasts, do it. You can find clients on this field. So can you
Right.
tell about finding the right channel considering your strong side? Because in most cases, I read a bunch of marketing books and most of them tell you need to find where your audience is.
Right.
Okay, I can find it, but if my audience on Instagram, but I don't know anything about this platform. I love LinkedIn. So
Right.
for example, I think my wife knows more about Instagram than me, like 100 times. My
Yeah.
son knows more about TikTok 1,000 times than I know about this platform. So
Right.
can you tell about finding the right channel, considering that some platforms don't work for companies?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, again, it's about knowing who, what the business is and what they want to achieve. So sure, like if you understand, what where your audience is, and they can be spread out. Really, like there's no one place where an audience is. I think, I don't know, if you go back maybe 20-ish years, and I might be dating myself a little bit there. Yeah, sure, you could go to, the newspaper, you could go to television, you could go to, and you would find your audience there. But now, if you look at, say, television, for example, which where do you go? Like, there's no one channel. There's hundreds of different channels. There's so many different streaming services. There's so many different programs, and the ability to be able to customize where your audience might be and what is going to be relevant to them is so nuanced. So I think, as you said, it's like understanding, okay, well, what is it that we want to communicate, what fits with us, from a brand perspective. And then also like leaning in, as you said, you have this this podcast, and this live streaming, and that plays to your strength. um I think I find that I see this with a lot of leaders, where they think because they're in leadership or they're executives, they have to go forth into public speaking, or they have to go forth into writing and this, that, and the other, and they're not comfortable with it. So, from a marketing perspective, for me, what I like to do is I find a thought leadership, or comms from that perspective. I try and look at, okay, well, what is everyone's strength? What's their personality? And what are they going to be most comfortable with? And it's the same way I look at, from a marketing strategy perspective of the channels we're going to play in. What's going to work for us? Where are our audience? What's going to work for us? What resources do we have? And how much time and effort is it going to take? For me personally, I really love writing. As you've mentioned, it's something that I personally don't get enough time to do, but it's something I've been leaning into more for myself, and I enjoy it. And I think you'll find when you enjoy something, it's not a chore to do it, and it comes so easily and authentically. And I think that's the key thing. It's about being authentic, and it's about being genuine. In terms of where you are, especially in all these channels, right? If you think about LinkedIn, my gosh, like I scroll through LinkedIn, it's just full. I was going to say something not nice, but yeah, it's full, right? So if you want to stand out, the things that stand out to me on LinkedIn are, when I know someone, or I see something that makes me smile or think, or whatever it is. And I will say there's a lot of people talking on it, but it's like, okay, speak with purpose, communicate with purpose, create with purpose as well. That's sort of what I adopt in finding the right channels and strategies and tactics.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. I'm interested about how to stand out from the rest. Because, for example, I love this book, Purple Cow, written
Okay. Yeah.
by
Seth
Seth
Godin.
Godin.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't need to read this book. You just read the title. You can understand, the main point of this book. But and it's important to stand out from the rest today, especially in AI era. When everyone can create content fast. For a few seconds, just type keywords, ask ChatGPT to get the answer. But can you tell how to stand out from the rest, how to create content, marketing message that customers can recognize, wanna click, wanna open, wanna use? So any tips about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to that authenticity, and being true to what your strengths are. You're right. I've seen a lot of backlash I've seen a lot of promotion, but I've also seen a lot of backlash against AI, in terms of, like, let's just take LinkedIn, for example. People are using like AI to generate comments on LinkedIn. And you can tell, people are starting to call other people out on, like, hey, you're using AI to generate your comments. Like, that's inauthentic. And I think that is what's going to get what's going to sort of get called out from that perspective. So, being able to stand out is about understanding and having an interesting point of view. It's about being helpful. It's about communicating in a way that is engaging as well. There's a lot of, and I'm just going to pick on LinkedIn because, it's B2B. Yeah, that's the place to be. There's a lot of information that I see about, okay, what does an engaging post look like, or the anatomy of an engaging post look like? And there is something in that, in understanding, okay, well, is it video? Is it using emojis? Is it's kind of understanding what the communication is, and then also being authentic to your communication style. using natural language as well. So not being stilted, not using words and things like that are uncharacteristic of who you are. And I think also expertise goes a long way, right? There's a lot of garbage, frankly,
Yeah.
that gets put out. And I think genuinely, one thing I enjoy is seeing someone who really loves what they do and is an expert at what they do, and they thrive on it, and it's their passion, and that they're very generous in sharing what that is. I really love to see that, and I think that sort of is how a lot of people stand out, and sort of go that path. And it's becoming really, I think it's becoming, especially in B2B, it's becoming really important because, if you think there's this, a trend with community, there's a trend with coming back with influencers as well. And sometimes it's not necessarily about your brand and well, it's obviously the purchase decision is a product, but it's also about the trust or the familiarity that is established by the person who is either selling, who is marketing, who is whatever. And you're probably going to get a better response and a warmer response with that recognition than you are going cold. I mean, that's just a given. But like, I think especially now, that trust is going to be really paramount to people making those decisions and engaging.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that people can generate comments for LinkedIn, and yeah, I
Yeah.
see them. I see
Yeah.
often them. But I'm not against AI. I think we need to use it, because I spoke with Jeff Coyle, co-founder of Market News, and
Right.
he told me in the future we'll have three companies. The first company will develop AI, the
Yeah.
second company implement AI, and
Mm-hmm.
the third company will be obsolete, who can leave the trade. So I think that's okay if you use AI even for comments, but for editing, because I use AI. For example, I can write a bad copy and
Right.
ask AI, please edit. And because of that, we got mentioned on CNN. I edited press release for CNN, many other resources. And it's interesting that my PR manager told me it's the first time for 16 years of your experience CNN replied to press release. And even more, we got this mention. That's okay. That's huge, But
Yeah.
and we edited this press release on ChatGPT. We didn't
Right.
write. We didn't generate, because CNN can recognize it. These people are smart, and everyone can recognize it.
Right.
But
Right.
if you write even bad copy, but with valuable insights, just ask ChatGPT, make it friendly, simpler. You can clarify that you're going to submit this comment on LinkedIn, and after that, people can feel it. Open your profile, and it's a big chance to get new followers or customers. So yeah, we
Yeah.
need to use it smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's a difference. Like, I think people are kind of relying on AI in a way to replace their expertise. You still need you still need
Mhm.
something up here to be able to input into it and create something valuable, because it's a tool to be able to help enhance. It's not a tool to be able right now to replace what it is. And I think
Yeah.
the people that are getting caught out with it are using it as a tool to like, all right, cool, just you tell me what I need to say. No, no, no. I'll tell you what I know, and you tell me how to say it better. You tell me how I can enhance what I'm doing and things like that. And I think, that's a learning curve that we're all on at the moment. um,
Uh,
and like for me with AI, more than honestly, like the content stuff with AI that I'm interested in seeing is how it's going to be incorporated into some of these tools to be able to like make life easier.
mhm.
Like, cool. I want to set a nurture flow. I want you to understand who my customer is, and I want you to be able to take information and respond to them personally and make it sound like me. Now, when you can do that, and they can tell that you're not responding it's not an AI responding, that for me will be great, because like then that starts to replace something that, yes, I couldn't have necessarily done myself from that perspective. And I think that's kind of where I'm excited to see where AI goes from that.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. I like that you highlighted still, because we don't know what kind of future will be. Yeah,
Yeah.
today still, but
Yep, yep.
tomorrow I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't forecast because my crystal ball doesn't work. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I,
mine either.
yeah, I bought crypto and I felt that crypto will go up, but crypto went down. And I got it.
Yeah,
No, I don't trust my crystal ball anymore.
yeah. Well, look, it's physics, isn't it? What goes up has to come down, and what comes down has to go up again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think it's the best strategy because I spoke with my brothers many times, and he loves trading, and you know he usually fails like 95% of all other traders, and I told him, okay, let's imagine you always fail. You read investing.com, many other websites, Bloomberg, and you fail. Do vice versa. If you fail, just do vice versa, because it's a big manipulation. All this news information, and if all people can think that something will go up, all of them buy, and
Right.
it can impact
Yes.
to this price, and it's like bubble. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
interesting strategy to try it. Okay, Nirosha, I want to ask you about one aspect that AI can't today, still can't today,
Yeah.
but it's important in
Hmm.
marketing, creativity. Let me
Yeah.
share short story.
Sure.
Lloyd Richards published a book 11 years ago,
Yep.
and he spent 14 years to write a single book. 14
Yep.
years, a single book. Yeah, I can't imagine. But he did it, then published, and he couldn't sell this book 11 years. Yeah, he used marketing, sales, nothing could help. Yeah, he got some random sales, not good. Then his daughter posted content on TikTok from account with 0 followers. This video became viral. Plus
Yeah.
50 million people watched this video,
Right.
including me. I'm one of them, and today this book is bestseller on Amazon.
Right.
Uh, I watched this video a few times because I want to know how to get 50 million views. And what I found, it's not nice looking design. It's
Right.
not like the best design. It's simple
Mm.
design, nothing special, but that was creative.
Yep.
Creative, short, genuine, authentic story that author spent so much time to write a single book, and
Yep.
it provokes curiosity. I want to read it. I want to know about this book. I'm interested about how to become creative, because it's a big problem. It's not only about AI. Even in common marketing,
Yeah.
marketers often replicate others. They see if
Yep.
someone got results, they do the same,
Mm.
adapt a little bit, but it doesn't work. Users are interested to get something new. So can you tell how to do it, how to stand out from the rest and be creative?
Be creative. Um, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thing. I, I have that background. So I sing, I used to do art, I paint, and so on and so forth. So for me, like, having the ability to be creative in what I do is, I seek it. I don't necessarily want to replicate what I'm doing. There are some things, obviously, from an efficiency perspective, but I think the ability to be creative comes back to, like, understanding who your audience is and what resonates for them. And it can be, I don't know, some things that we've done and that I've done in a previous life. We were at a trade show. We sponsored a trade show, and we weren't a large company. We didn't do a lot of, we didn't have the biggest booth, put it that way. We definitely didn't have the biggest budget, and we weren't the biggest brand there. But the way that we were creative and the way that we stood out was, being authentic in our design. We also we understood, okay, and I can't take credit for this. My events manager actually came up with this idea. The trade show was in Texas, in Austin, right? And she said, "Oh, why don't I found these cowboy hats? They were like purple velvet cowboy hats with lights around them." And and we had our brand on them, and I was like, oh my god, I'm definitely not wearing that. But we got them, and the first day I was like, I don't want to be stuck with all these hats, so I put everything out.
Yeah.
And they were a hit, and they were a hit because they were specific to Texas. When you think about Texas, the cowboy hats and so on and so forth, and people were at this conference, they wanted something to take back, and they were just cute, and they were kitschy. And so on the first day, we ran out of the hats. And then on the second day, we had nothing. And so we were like, okay, as a team, we're like, what do people need? What do people need? What can we do that's really quick? So, what we thought? Okay, it's the first day of the conference. Tonight, everyone is going to be going out, and they're going to be eating, drinking, having fun, right? Because, when you
Yeah.
go to these conferences, they're like that. So we're like, okay, cool. People will be a little bit, hungover. So our CRO said, oh, there's this energy drink that you can get. I was like, okay, cool. We'll order that from Costco here. So we had a couple of packets, and we went and got, our events manager went and got some glasses with some straws. I'll tell you, so many people were coming because it was, we did it in a creative way, but we understood what the needs were of the audience. And if you stop and you just think about that, and if you're human, right? We're all human. We all, like, there are certain things that we all have in common. Guaranteed, if one thing I really enjoy doing is I like having a massage. I like going to the spa and things like that. So I know, okay, other people will likely enjoy that. I like being rewarded and acknowledged. Don't you? That's something that a reason why we do work. So being able to have that human aspect really, I think, helps with being creative and thinking outside of the box of, oh, I need to give another USB, or I need to give another, I don't know, whatever it is that swag that gives away. And that's just one example of it. But I think it's those things that connect personally that start to really enhance your ability to be creative. And it doesn't have to be like, as you said, this TikTok, it wasn't overly produced. It was a personal story, right? And I guarantee you, like, everyone was like, oh, like when you were telling me it took 14 years, I know it takes a lot to write a book, but that's a long time to write a book. Was he doing like a chapter every year, or what? What was it? And you kind of, it tugs at your heartstrings, right?
Yeah.
So that's, that in and of itself, it's that ability to tell a story. It's an ability to connect. And I think that breeds creativity, but you have to get into that mindset. If you're very, if I go back to the event, if I was very sort of like, okay, we need to make sure we're on brand, we need to make sure we're doing this, and we have to get all these brochures and this and that and the other into people's hands, like, that wouldn't necessarily, yes, it might have been, one approach to it, but it wouldn't necessarily have had the same impact that taking that different approach did to it. So
Nice.
yeah, hopefully that'll get people's creative juices flowing. At least
Nice.
around events.
Valuable. I want to ask about something that I often do.
Okay.
I often do mistakes. I keep doing them. I made a lot of mistakes before, but I can learn from them.
Right.
Sometimes I don't know how to start, because I think everyone starts from generic strategies, best practices, then we can adapt to change. Because and I know two types mistakes. The first mistake you can learn from others
Yep.
and avoid, and some mistakes you can learn through experience. We
Right.
can avoid them. So can you list mistakes that we can avoid from your experience? You can see that companies still do, and your tips how to find another way without these mistakes.
Yeah. I think the biggest mistake that I see companies making, and not this is beyond marketing, but it's not listening. It's not listening. Oh,
Yeah.
so cute. So cute. What's his or her name? What's their name?
Sabina, she
Sabina.
always takes part
Oh,
on my podcast. Guys,
yeah. She's
who
so
can see, it's my dog.
she's very cute.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so to answer your question, like, it's not listening to people. Your people are well of information, and they understand and they see things internally. They see opportunities to improve. They see opportunities for business growth development. They also see the mistakes that you're making strategically. And not listening, like from a leadership perspective and a business strategy perspective, not listening to your people and not actively seeking out their counsel, or one thing that I think I've experienced is, and I think it's common, a lot of companies, and especially executive leadership, they value opinions that come from outside versus people who are in the company themselves.
Mhm.
That's a massive mistake. Why? Like, not degrading anything that anyone would say coming from the outside of an organization, but the person inside your organization has a vested interest. They know your organization, they care, and yes, they may have a perspective and a certain lens on things, and people who come from outside have a fresh perspective. No questions there. But don't discount someone just because you may think that they have this internal lens, because it demotivates them. And I've seen,
Yeah.
in the experience I've had with the companies I've worked with, I've seen this happen multiple times. And what happens is it either demotivates people, they lose really good people, they go in different strategic business directions that aren't fruitful. And I think for me, that's the biggest mistake to be able to that I've seen companies make from that perspective. I think,
Yeah.
and I can add from a personal perspective, from a marketer's perspective, understand the unit economics of a company. Like, that is a mistake that I hope to never make again.
Yeah.
Understand when you're going into a business and you're signing up for a role, especially if it's a growth role or it's some sort of revenue bearing role, understand and test their unit economics, and that they have done it, and that what they have done and what they are yielding is successful, and
Mhm.
really stress test it.
Yeah.
Because I think that for me is one of the biggest things that I've learned, from
Mhm.
you can take on responsibility for marketing, but if the economics haven't been done correctly, before you've even started, you've failed.
Yeah.
So,
Valuable. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Awesome.
sure.
Uh, I wanna ask about your experience. You know
Right.
what? I usually um I found if I cooperate with clients who don't understand SEO, digital marketing, I usually tell them, take my course, learn from Lily Ray, Jeff Coyle, Mike Phillips. It costs like $20, but you can learn from great experts. Go to YouTube, Google, just learn. Get the basic, how it works, why we need to create high quality content, why it's important to have website speed, many things. And uh, but if they understand, we understand each other. We speak one language. We can achieve great results because we create high quality content that consider users intent, many things, marketing, creativity. I want to ask you, if you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills, it's your first day in marketing. What will you do today to learn more about B2B marketing?
What would I do to learn more about B2B marketing? I'd go to my communities.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would go to my communities. I mean, actually, the first thing I'd do is I'd just do a Google search.
Yeah.
Like that's always my first point of call. I'll go to Google and or whatever your preferred search engine is, and put it in, and I would just go and
Mhm.
go and go and learn and learn and learn, and then I go to my communities and I would see, okay, well, what are people talking about? What are they saying? What are the tools? There's many communities that where people are very generous with sharing their information. It's like what you're doing. You're creating a channel to be able to share information. From that perspective, and I think that's what I would do if I had to
Yeah.
start from scratch again. Um, what
Yeah.
would you do?
Interesting. Oh, I think, you know, I think that I can focus more, to specific channels,
Yeah,
because I can feel that I'm jack of all trades.
right,
But you know, it's my occupation to be jack of all trades, because I cooperate with great experts who can help me with creating content, who can help me with promotion, and for example, even in PR. When I tried myself to write press releases, to distribute them, I failed all the time, failed. But
right,
I learned the process, how it works, and I hired the right people. I outsource some of them. We cooperate with many of them,
yeah,
and some can write great press releases that CNN can publish. Some can distribute to the right journalists. It's the process. So
right,
I think it's better to choose specific direction, or if you like management, then learn everything and learn how to manage people, how to find them, how to encourage them. Yeah, many things.
yeah.
And I have the final question. It's
Cool.
not about marketing,
Okay.
it's not about B2B, it's about Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was one time in Sri Lanka, Paradise Island. Um,
Oh,
uh, yeah, many years ago, like 10 years ago, don't remember exactly. Yeah,
right.
and I had experience in water skiing. It's interesting
Yes.
that I didn't have experience, but when I came to the people uh, who sold this, and they told me, if you have experience, pay $10. If you have no experience, pay $100. And I replied to them, yeah, I have experience, guys. But I didn't. Sorry for that, but I didn't. I just decided to save $90, and uh, when I tried, I failed. As usual, as I fail in digital marketing. But after that, I found that on this river that I tried to drive this,
Yeah.
I don't know, on this. Uh, I saw crocodiles.
Yes. Yeah.
If they told me before that I can swim with crocodiles, you know, I think that I couldn't fail on that. I can start from the beginning, because yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to have experience with crocodiles. They can
Right.
teach faster. And yeah, my main question about Sri Lanka.
Mhm.
I know that Sri Lanka had a war like 30 years. Yeah,
Yes.
many years a war.
Yeah, they
So
did.
terrible.
They
Right now
did.
we have similar issue in Ukraine. So
Yeah.
terrible as well. So can you tell about people in Sri Lanka? I mean, like freelancers, marketers. Do you outsource them? Do you search for them? Because the last time I'm hiring people globally. For me, it doesn't matter what kind of countries, except Russia. I don't like them. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I have personal issue,
Yeah.
but I'm hiring people everywhere. What do you think about Sri Lanka people? So, do you have great specialists there, writers, developers, designers, anyone? So, any tips about that?
Yeah, I to be honest, I can't really speak to that because I haven't necessarily lived there. I
Ah,
grew
okay.
up I grew up in Australia,
Okay,
and
okay.
then I was born in the UK. But I will say that I know that the level of talent there is it's competitive. I know that their university system is very robust and it's very competitive. And I think being able to understand, it depends on what sort of category you're looking at. I think as you said, there was a war, and there's been a lot of development and a lot of investment in the country as well. And it's certainly building up from a commerce perspective. So I wouldn't shy away from looking at resources there. I will say, there is island life as well. So if you you come from an island, you kind of know what that island life is. It's like when I go to Jamaica, and I feel very at home because it's very much that island life. So an island time, which is a little bit more relaxed than,
I
other places,
understand.
let's say.
Yeah,
So just be mindful of island lifetime, maybe is the only thing I would say. But,
yeah.
look, I love Sri Lanka. I'll always advocate for it,
Mhm.
and, obviously my heritage is Sri Lankan as well. So, yeah.
Mm. Got it. Yeah. And what I like people in islands, they have no deadlines. They don't hurry up. They have no this pressure that we have. Every single
Yeah,
day. Yeah, I
yeah,
need
yeah.
I need to do
Yeah,
something in the deadline. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little bit like that, but you also it's kind of an enjoyment and appreciation of life that a lot of that you don't generally have, and I really do appreciate that, because
Yeah.
it's a great part of the culture, because what it means is, you have time, or you have time, you make time to meet people, you make time to sit down with people, you make time to understand people and find out where they're from. You make time to share a meal. You make time for your family. For whatever it is that you need to feed yourself and your soul. And I think, like, if I can take a little bit of that, like, not the whole lot, but take a little bit of that and inject it. I think, it's what we all seek. Like, it's that balance, right, between, like, being able to feed our souls and being able to to manage and balance a professional life as well. So I will say that. Actually, one other story I will share with you. So your crocodile story. So as I said, I grew up in Australia, and I'm a golfer, so I play
Mhm.
golf. But I'd gone to a course in Australia with I have my father and younger brother. They play as well. And the thing is, in Australia, they have a lot of deadly animals,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily in our backyard, as everyone seems to think, but they are around. And so on this particular golf course, they had signs that said there's snakes,
Oh.
so be careful of the snakes. And I am really scared of snakes. Like, I have a healthy respect for them, but I'll tell you, I have never played a better game of golf, because guess what? I hit so straight because I only lost one ball because I
Uh,
did not want to go into the bushes. I was like, I'm
yeah.
not going to
Gotcha.
into the bushes. So
Yeah.
fear is a great
Yeah.
driver for performance.
Yeah. By the way, I'm so grateful to this crocodile that didn't cut my leg, my hand. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Because, yeah, I watch a bunch of videos when they can do it, something like this. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But after that, I got it. The next time I will pay $100, and will be honest, now that I can't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah, Nirosha,
Fair
it's a
enough.
big pleasure to get on my show to learn from you. I love this
Thank
experience.
you. Thank
Fun,
you very much.
valuable. Tell our audience the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn. You can just find me through my name, and I've just started a business with Sati Marketing. So we're online at satimarketing.com. You can go and visit and reach out through that way. And yeah, I'd love to hear. I'm always happy to engage in conversation. And yeah, thank you very much, Anatoly, for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Love it. So valuable. Guys, you can find all links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. Welcome
Thank
back anytime to share more value. It's fun, valuable. I recommend to anyone to follow Nirosha on social media to learn from her because you can see a lot of value. Okay, love you. See you.
thank you.